الله ولي الذين آمنوا.
الحمد لله وكفى وسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى أما بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون أياما معدودات سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم. As every one of us know, month of Ramadan is coming soon. Kutiba alaykum as-siyam. Allah Ta'ala says in Quran that Allah Ta'ala has made mandatory upon us this fasting in this month of Ramadan. Kama kutiba ala alladhina min qablikum. In the same way that everyone in the past who loved Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had to fast to show that they loved Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. La'allakum tattaqoon. So that by showing our love for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, by staying away from our basic needs, la'allakum tattaqoon, we make it taqwa in our heart. We make it fear of Allah ta'ala in our heart. We may be aware of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in our heart. Ayyama ma'dudat, but these are just few days, numbered days, 29 or 30 days of the year that a person will have to do this. Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he used to make dua in Rajab. He started making dua 2 months before Ramadan, that oh Allah grant us so much barakat, so many blessings in Rajab, so many blessings in Shaban, and make us reach Ramadan. So this is not just a sunnah dua, this is a sunnah feeling of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He was feeling an anticipation for Ramadan. He was feeling a yearning for Ramadan. And he wanted to reach Ramadan because he wanted to get something in Ramadan. So the question is, how many of us have that sunnah feeling in our heart? If I was to ask you that, okay, this year, let's say you reach Ramadan, means let's say you were to remain alive for the rest of Shaban and reach Ramadan, what is it that you want? Most of us haven't even thought about it. We don't even answer to this question. We just assume automatically I'm going to reach Ramadan and I'll stay away from food and drink, and I'll change my schedule, and I'll change my practices. What do you want from Ramadan? What's the answer? What's in your heart? Why do you want to reach Ramadan? Why do you want to fast to Allah Ta'ala in Ramadan? Is there some objective? Is there some goal? Is there some wish? Is there some dream? Or are we just going to do it same old, like we did last year, and the year before that, and the year before that? What did we do? The last year and the year before that, we changed our schedule. We didn't change ourselves. We changed our schedule. We changed the time that we sleep, and we changed the times that we eat. But that's it. And especially young men and women, they're experts at this. They still eat 3 times a day. It's called eating at Maghrib, and eating at midnight, and eating at suhoor. They also eat 3 times a day. They still sleep 8 hours or 24 hours. It's called sleeping from Fajr to Zohar. Or even some kids, mashallah, getting up half an hour before Asr. Like awliyaullah get up half hour before Fajr to pray Tahajjud. Our youth get up half hour before Asr to pray Zohar. Allahu Akbar. Ajib. They just changed their schedule. And what happened when Ramadan ended? They changed their schedule right back. That's it. And some of us are pros at this. We're professional fasters. In fact, the older men, their wives know the schedule. Wives know. In Ramadan, let me take out my husband's schedule, I know. He needs his pakora at this time. He needs his chai at this time. Everything is set. She just takes out the menu, takes out the timetable, takes out the schedule. For 30 days, they change the schedule in their life. The second Eid comes, they put the schedule back. And is waiting for them for next year. That's a problem. No. We have to spend this year Ramadan differently. This year, don't just change your schedule, change yourself. That's why Ramadan is here. You're experts at changing your schedule. Why not try to do something bigger this year? Why not try to do something better this year? What's the change Allah Ta'ala wants to have? لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. That our taqwa should change. The way we feel should change. Our heart should change. Allah Ta'ala sends this month of Ramadan not to change our schedule or to change our timetable or eating habits. No. What interest does Allah Ta'ala have in any of that? Allah Ta'ala has no interest in these zahiri things. Allah Ta'ala sent Ramadans for us to change our heart. This is our foolishness, that we change so many things in that month, but we don't change our heart. That should be one answer. And yes, this is why I want to reach Ramadan. Why? Because up till now my heart is polluted. My heart has lust. My heart has envy. My heart has anger. My heart has sins. I am waiting for Ramadan to come. Why? Because I'm hoping that when I reach Ramadan and I fast in Ramadan, my heart will change in Ramadan. That's why I'm waiting for Ramadan. Another answer a person can give is I'm waiting to reach Ramadan because right now if I look at myself, I don't think I have any chance at Jannah. I'm hoping though that this year I will spend Ramadan in such a good way that by the end of Ramadan, Allah Ta'ala will make me also from Ahl Jannah. Another answer a person can give is I'm waiting to reach Ramadan. Why? Because this year I look at myself now and I feel that I'm distant from Allah Ta'ala. I don't have His qurb. I'm not leading a life that's pleasing to Him. I don't have His rida. So I want to reach Ramadan and do something this year and change my heart, change my life, change myself. So I become more beloved to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, more pleasing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is the answer we should give. This is why we want to spend this month of Ramadan. You will see people in this world also, when they want to upgrade somebody's efficiency and productivity, they send them on annual training. He says, well, this is my annual training. And my company is sending me, and oh, mashallah, if company sends him to Harvard and Oxford, so he'll tell the whole world. He make it a point to tell everybody that my company is sending me to America for training. Oh, subhanallah. Annual training, 30 days. Now imagine company sends him to America for training for 30 days, and he comes back and he's the same person. He operates at the same level in his job. The company would be amazed. They say, how is that possible? 30 days we sent you annual training. You were supposed to come back totally changed. You were middle level. We wanted to make you senior level manager. You had this level of skill. You should have come back with that level of skill. You should have been changed. Now can you imagine somebody, just imagine you meet somebody who works in a corporate job. And he says, for the past 10 years, my company has been sending me on 30 days annual training to the most elite institutions in the world. But I'm still at the same level, I have no promotion. You say, you're still at the same level? You've gone for annual training for 10 years? He said, yes. I'm exactly the same. Now that's me and you. Those of us who have spent 5 Ramadan, 10 Ramadan, some in this room have spent 20, 30, 40 Ramadan. And if they say it hasn't changed me, it's like I went through annual training 20 times in my life and I'm still the same person. Allahu Akbar. So now that person, if he went, he would make sure that no, I must study, I must work, I must learn, I must change. I have to go back a changed person. This is the attitude we have to bring to this month of Ramadan. That we want to change. One of the Arabic meanings of this word, Arabic language is such that words have roots. So the root of Ramadan is Ra, Mim, Dad. So there's another word from that is called Tarmil. Tarmil. This means to sharpen. So it's also used in contemporary Arabic that when you have a knife that is dull and you want to sharpen it. So that's called Tarmil. Now why do you sharpen the knife? To put it back in the drawer? No. Obviously you sharpen the knife because now you want to use it. You realize you neglected it. It became dull. That was wrong. And now you have need for it. So you take it out and you sharpen it. So the way Allah Ta'ala sharpens our iman, la'allakum tattakun, it's called taqwa. Taqwa sharpens our iman. So in this month of Ramadan, we want to sharpen our iman to use it after Ramadan. Obviously you can't put yourself back in the drawer in Eid. The whole purpose of Ramadan is for after Ramadan. So go in this year, don't think Eid is the end. This is the problem people think. They say Ramzan guzarna hai Eid tak pahunchne ke liye. Ramzan guzarna hai Jannat tak pahunchne ke liye. It doesn't end at Eid. You cannot shed your Ramadan on Eid day. You have to be more forward thinking. More forward thinking. So if we don't have an answer to the question, why do I want to reach Ramadan, or we have a small answer, then for such a person, there's no need to prepare. You don't need me to give you a talk on preparing for Ramadan. If you just want to stay away from food and drink, from Fajr to Maghrib, you know how to do that. I don't need to teach you how to do that. You don't need a lecture on how to do that. But if this year you want to do something different in Ramadan, something more in Ramadan, then for that we have to be prepared. Understand one thing very carefully. Allah Ta'ala said something in Quran, La yukallifullahu nafsan illa wus'aha. Allah Ta'ala has not made us responsible for anything that is not in our ability. But part of that ability is Ramadan. What does it mean? So sometimes a person might say that, I don't feel I'm strong enough. I'm not able to stay away from this sin. I say, yes. Normally, you're not able to stay away from this sin. However, Allah Ta'ala let you live through an entire month of Ramadan. In that month of Ramadan, Allah Ta'ala had placed for you the capacity to change in that month. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had placed for you the capacity to change in that month. It wasn't your wasa. It wasn't your ability. But you were lazy in Ramadan. So you missed out that opportunity. Just like that person who says, I'm just not so good at my work. I can't get a promotion. We say, no, you had the ability. That annual training, if you had spent that annual training correctly, you would have gotten the ability to be better at what you do. But because you were lazy in that annual training, so you didn't attain that skill that had been placed in your reach. So actually the month of Ramadan is a month of wusa. And this month will either testify for us or against us on the Day of Judgment. It will either be a hujjah for us or against us on the Day of Judgment. Either this month, literally comes in a hadith that the month of Ramadan will plead on behalf of the person who spent that month properly. So we should want that this year, Ramadan 2014, should be like that for me. That this Ramadan should testify on my behalf on the Day of Judgment to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This month of Ramadan should plead to Allah ta'ala to admit me into Jannah. So one thing is Ramadan increases our wusa. Another thing is that Ramadan gives us an escape. An escape from what? Many of us, our iman is trapped in some prison or the other. For somebody, their iman is trapped in the prison of lust. Somebody's iman is trapped in the prison of laziness. Somebody's iman is trapped in the prison of money and materialistic pursuits. They imprison their iman. Now imagine that the month of Ramadan, Allah Ta'ala opens up that jail. Allah Ta'ala opens up the jail. You can walk out. Yes, this is how much power and blessings and mercy Allah Ta'ala puts in Ramadan. You can walk out of the prison of lust or dunya or whatever it is that is hampering our deen. Allah Ta'ala opens the door. You can walk right out in Ramadan. It's up to us. It's up to us. Or you can stay in the prison cell and just be hungry and thirsty. And then at the end of the month of Ramadan, the door of the jail cell will close again. And you'll be back to your own old self. So we have to spend this Ramadan differently. Now, one way to prepare for Ramadan is this simple. That's it. One click. That Allah Ta'ala, I give myself entirely to you. That's it. You can imagine Ramadan is like a storm. So now imagine a person, if they love the storm, what will they do? They see that the tidal wave is coming, they start walking to the beach. Those Californian surfers, So they start walking towards the beach. And what do? They just stand there. And they just stand there and they want the wave that is coming to take them away. That's another way to prepare for Ramadan. You don't need any fancy lecture for that. This is called taslim, tafweed. अपने आप को अल्लाह ताला की रहमत के बस हवाला कर देना. बस कुछ नहीं सोचना. बदलना है, 100% बदलना है. ना मुझे तरगीब की जरूरत, ना मुझे कोई दावत की जरूरत, ना मुझे समझाने की जरूरत. जैसे बनना है बस वैसे बनने की इरादा कर लो. Simple. One click. They have this, they call it one button operation. one-click ordering. Yes, you can get one-click taqwa in Ramadan. You just make niyat in your heart that you're going to give yourself over to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala entirely. Absolutely. Completely. Eternally. That's one way to prepare for Ramadan. Second way is what we do tonight, is that we describe the beauty of that wave and try to convince you to give yourself up to the ocean of the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So listen then to the beauty of this month of Ramadan. First thing, Ramadan is the best month. It's better than all of the other 11 months in the year. Now when Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam hadith, Nabi Kareem said that Ramadan is the best month, is better than all of the other months of the year. Now we could say a question, better than Zulhijjah? Better than the month in which there's Hajj? Yes. Better than the month in which there's Yawm al-Arafah? Yes. Better than any other month is the month of Ramadan. Allahu Akbar. So today people like the best. Everybody wants to have the best. Ramadan is the best of the best. Ramadan is the best of the best. Second, the last 10 nights of the month of Ramadan, are better than all the other nights in all year. Better than the night I spend in Mina? Yes. Better than the night I spend in Muzdalifah? Yes. Allahu Akbar. Last 10 nights of Ramadan are the best nights of the entire year. That within that, there's one night called Laylatul Qadr, which is the best time out of any single time in a whole lifetime of eternity. The best lamhat, the best zamana, the best time in the entire history of the universe is every year that time from when it is Laylatul Qadr. Allahu Akbar. That's also in the last 10 nights of this blessed month of Ramadan. And then the month of Ramadan is that month in which the best book, Quran al-Kareem, was revealed to the best prophet, Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Shahr Ramadan alladhi unzila fihi al-Quran. That this month of Ramadan is the month in which Allah Ta'ala sent down this Quran, hudan lin-nasi, as a guidance for all of humanity. وَبَيَّنَاتٍ مِّنَ الْهُدَى, and with clear explanations from the guidance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, وَالْفُرْقَانِ, and a criteria, distinction between what is right and what is wrong, what is true and what is false. And all of that happened, إِنَّا أَنزَلْنَاهُ فِي لَيْلَةِ الْقَدْرِ, that Allah Ta'ala originally first revealed Quran on Laylatul Qadr. All of this is the fazilat and the blessing of Ramadan. Now, since we have about 3 weeks left before Ramadan, so there's a chance now we have to do some advanced preparation. You will see people today, even if they go for a simple meeting, they go to that meeting prepared in advance. If they go for a function, they go prepared in advance. So we should have advanced preparation for Ramadan. So I'll give you a few points on how to prepare for Ramadan in advance. Number 1 is you should try to free yourself up in the month of Ramadan by fulfilling all of your obligations as much as you can in Shaban. Work overtime in Shaban so you can take work less in Ramadan. If you're a student, study what you have to do in Shaban so you don't have to study that much in Ramadan. If there are any household tasks, repair work, anything that is on your list of to-do list of things to do, try to knock everything off in Shaban. Start telling people now, you want to meet me? You can meet me for the next 2 weeks, or you can meet me after 6 weeks. Tell everyone. This should be the way you speak to people. You want to talk to me? You meet me now, or you meet me after Ramadan. It's your choice. Your parents want you to do something. Tell them, look, I'll do it now, or I can do it after Ramadan. It's your choice. Keep talking like that to people. Keep thinking like that. Free yourself up in Ramadan. Not because you're going to go on vacation, but because in Ramadan you want to take advantage of those blessings to do more ibadat, more zikr, more tilawat, to bring yourself closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now if you look at that, it's 1 out of 12 months. That's less than 10%. 1/12. So if you tell people that, look, less than 10% of the year I'm booked for my Rabb. That's it. It's only 8%, 8.5%. I'm booked for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I'm booked in the month of Ramadan. Then, During the month of Ramadan, you should try to take off from any unnecessary activities. It may mean social activities, recreation, leisure, pleasure, sports, fitness. It's not the month for these things. It's not the month for these things. Try not to do those things in the month of Ramadan itself. Put it this way. This is one practical thing. Now, some spiritual things. Try this year to do the a'mal of Ramadan in Shaban so that you get the ahwal of Ramadan in Ramadan. I'll say it again. Try to start doing very little of the a'mal of Ramadan in Shaban so that you get the ahwal of Ramadan in Ramadan. What does that mean? Most people, they enter Ramadan with zero preparation. So what happens is the first 3, 5, 7 days is like a warm-up. They're adjusting themselves. All of a sudden they take out the Quran they haven't read all year. They start reading it a little bit. Gradually they start warming up. And by the middle 10 days of Ramadan, they pick up speed. So start now then. Start all of these amal, but in a very short way right now. So I'll mention some of them to you. Number 1, fasting itself. Do some type of nafil fasting in Shaban. Best is if you can do sunnah fasting, Mondays and Thursdays, or 13th, 14th, 15th of the lunar month. Even those of you who are beginners, even try to do one fast in Shaban. It will warm you up. It will get you back in practice. It will get you in gear. It will put you in the groove. Start doing some of these amal now. And those of you who are not beginners, you should do many fasts in Shaban. And if there's anyone, man or woman, who has some fasts from last year that they missed or skipped, that they have to make qada of those fasts, okay, at least the other would be that, okay, I should at least have made up those fasts before next year Ramadan came. Right? So if there's somebody who has something like that, although technically, yes, you could even do it after this year's Ramadan. But better, more adab, more true to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is that you try to knock off any qada you have from last year, this year. Especially, for example, the women who have to miss some days of fasting due to their certain days of the month. If they didn't make that up till now, they should try to make it up in Shaban. So first amal is the amal of fasting itself. Second is the amal of recitation of Quran. Why do you want to wait till first Ramadan to take out Quran? Show Allah Ta'ala, you are my Rabb. The month of Ramadan is not my Rabb. You are my Rabb. Now yes, before I was so weak, I used to wait for first Ramadan. But now I came to preparing for Ramadan lecture. So I should be different this year. So start reading a little bit of Quran. Even if you want to read 5 minutes a day, no problem by me. Get back into the feel of it. Get back into the act of it. Get back into the habit of reciting Quran. Another amal of Ramadan. Third is try to pray some extra salah. Not a lot, not everything, something. Maybe not even every day, but some of the days. Try to do something. Maybe 2 nafil. Maybe Salatul Ishraq. Maybe Salatul Duha, called Shast in Persian Urdu. Maybe Salatul Awabin. Maybe Salatul Tahajjud. Maybe Salatul Tasbih. Maybe Salatul Haja, Salatul Istikhara. Try to do something. इसको कहते हैं ना, कुछ हाथ पांव मारने शुरू कर दो अभी, ताकि रमजान में चल पड़े. वरना अगर कुछ नहीं करेंगे तो रमजान के शुरू में बस हाथ पांव मारते रहेंगे. कुछ लोग पूरा महीना हाथ पांव ही मारते रहते हैं, चलते नहीं. अभी हाथ पांव मारने शुरू करेंगे, चलने वाले बन जाएंगे. Try to do something, even 2 rakats, not even every day. Chalo, sometimes. So you get the feel, and it's also important. Why? Because when you try, you will realize how rusty you are. I don't think we realize how rusty this iman is. It's when we realize how rusty it has become, then we will value this incredible opportunity that is Ramadan. When you start reading Quran, believe me, you'll see. Those who have not read it for the whole year, you will see how rusty you are. If you've never prayed Nafil Salah, last time you prayed Nafil Salah was Taraweeh. For some people are like that. Last time they prayed anything beyond the Fard was last year, Ramadan and Taraweeh. So try. Then you will see, this is so difficult for me to read 5 minutes Quran. You'll say, what's the matter with me? I'm so rusty. I can't even read Quran. I can't pray Salah. It means I need help. So I'm so happy Ramadan is coming because I realized I have this rusty iman. And make dua. Start being in the practice of making dua now. A lot of us, we have lost this golden act of ibadah. Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, "Ad-dua mughal ibadah." Mughal ibadah. Dua is the essence of worship. Dua is the essence of worship. We've lost the essence. Get the essence back in Shaban. Don't wait for Ramadan. Start making duas. Very simple dua you could make. Is Allah Ta'ala give me a good Ramadan? If nothing else, you can start making this dua now. Allah Ta'ala make this Ramadan life-changing for me. Make this Ramadan habit-changing for me. Make this Ramadan taqwa-changing for me. Start making the dua now. The more you beg and pray from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the more Allah Ta'ala will grant it. Then, there's another type of fast, which is the fast of the tongue, and the fast of the eyes, and the fast of the heart. Start that fast now. Because actually that fast isn't confined to Ramadan. It means fasting from sin. Jibek Roza. That's supposed to take around year round. So start practicing that now. Control the tongue. Make sure we don't lie. Don't backbite. Don't get upset. Don't say something to someone. Jalbazi ne karo. Try to fast your eyes. Lower your gaze. Become disinterested in the Allahful beauties of this world. Fast your heart. Protect your heart from having bad feelings about somebody, negative feelings about somebody, anger towards somebody, envy towards somebody. Protect your heart from having arrogance or pride or conceit. Start that fast now. Fasting of the tongue, fasting of the eyes, and what we call in our deen, fasting of the qalb, which means fasting of the spiritual heart. If we start doing some of these a'mal of Ramadan in Shaban, then we can hope that we will get these ahwal of the a'mal in Ramadan. What does it mean? We start practicing the actions. The whole reason we do the actions is to get feelings. If you practice the actions now, you have a better chance to get the feelings of the actions in the month of Ramadan. Now, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put some features in the month of Ramadan. Some very, very special features in the month of Ramadan. And because of these features, it's easier for us to get the qurb of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this month of Ramadan. So listen to these features that Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam explained to us in authentic hadith. Number 1, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chains shaitan and all the shayateen. They're chained. What does it mean? First, number 1, it means yes, physically, really, literally, they're all chained. Second, what does it mean? It means that shaitan, when he's chained, does not have the ability to put waswasa in our mind or waswasa in our heart. So Allah made it easier for us. So one of the reasons why we used to sin, one of the reasons why we used to forget Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, fall into ghafla, was because of shaitan. So Allah Ta'ala put this special feature to assist us to get taqwa. Another meaning is, all of you remember in the end of Quran what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, that they are shayateen and they are what? Minal jinni wan nas. They are shayateen and they're also some human beings who are sometimes unknowingly and maybe even Allahu alam knowingly agents of shaitan. They're also chained. Means the humans who do the work of shaitan, they put fitna, discord, sedition between people, they are also chained. Allahu Akbar. There's a big feature in Ramadan. Allah made it so easier for us. That one who Allah Ta'ala told us in Quran that he's our enemy. Aduwun. Fattakhuduhu aduwa. That he's your enemy, you should take him as an enemy. Allah Ta'ala saved us from that whole headache in month of Ramadan. Now sometimes people ask the question here, that if shaitan and the shayateen are sinned, the shaitan and the shayateen are chained, why do I still sin? So this will be a big revelation for you. Yes, you may still sin in Ramadan. Why? Because there are 2 reasons a person sins. One is shaitan and the other was nafs. Now shaitan is chained. So this would be a very good test for us. That was I sinning because of shaitan or was I sinning because of my nafs? So you can check yourself in Ramadan. If you do any sin in Ramadan, it means it wasn't because of shaitan, it was because of our own nafs. Sometimes that means the laziness of the nafs, susti ghaflat. Sometimes it can be the lust of the nafs, hawa, hirs. Sometimes it can be the anger part of the nafs. Sometimes it can be the takabbur of the nafs. It's due to the nafs. Okay, second special feature Allah Ta'ala then put in Ramadan to handle the nafs, that's the fast. Staying away from food and drink from Fajr to Maghrib is a feature. It's not the whole thing. It's a feature of Ramadan. And the purpose of that feature is why? Is that if you eat and drink less, your nafs has less ability to make you do sin. It's a feature of Ramadan. You can just imagine like this very simply, that every one of us has needs. We need to eat and drink. We have bodily needs. And there are certain professionals called nutritionists, and this is their job. And in a scientific way, they have ascertained how many calories an average person needs. I can't even remember what it is, but let's just pretend it's 3,000 calories. Right? So when you eat that much, you're fulfilling the needs of your body. When you eat beyond that, you are feeding your nafs. Yes. Where do you think that extra food? ये चर्बी सिर्फ जिस्म पर नहीं चढ़ता, ये चर्बी नफ्स पर चढ़ता है. हाँ? Yes? नहीं समझे? ये नफ्स, मोटा नफ्स. हाँ? Your body nafs. ये really होता है. ये नफ्स खुद ब खुद मोटा भारी नहीं होता. हम खुद उसको खिलाते हैं. खुद उसको खिलाते हैं. So in Ramadan, Allah Ta'ala put a feature in Ramadan called the fast. Now imagine that this is the purpose. That you eat less and drink less. So that your nafs comes under control. So then you won't do sin. Now look how stupid we are. That there are some people who they eat more and drink more in Ramadan. बल्कि in Urdu it's मशहूर है कि लोगों का रमजान में वजन बढ़ता है. Yes? Men and women, उनका वजन रमजान में बढ़ता है. Why? Because they may not eat from Fajr to Maghrib, but in total 24 hours, they eat more in 24 hours in Ramadan that they ate in 24 hours outside Ramadan. And also it's partly because they were fasting, so they felt that they need to eat some very, very heavy food items in Maghrib and Isha and midnight and Suhoor. So can you imagine that there's a feature designed in Ramadan to help me and you control our nafs. And we ourselves destroy that feature by eating more and drinking more in 24 hours. So it defeats the purpose. This is why we don't change. This is why a person doesn't change. Because we defeated the ability to change. So second feature of Ramadan is the fast itself. And there's barakah in that. There's barakah in that. That's why in Ramadan, I will tell you this year, don't focus on your days. Focus on your nights. इस साल रमजान को फजर से मगरिब ना गुजारे, मगरिब से फजर गुजारे. क्या मतलब? फजर से मगरिब तो खाने पीने से रोकना है. मगरिब से फजर तकवा की मशक करना है. मगरिब से फजर तकवा की मशक करना है. क्यों? क्योंकि फजर से मगरिब, क्योंकि रोजे की हालत में आमतौर पर बंदा गुनाह नहीं करता. बहुत मुश्किल है. वो नफ्स अटैक करेगा बिटवीन मगरिब एंड फजर. Yes? So very easy. In Ramadan, this year, watch your nights. Make Ramadan this year about the nights. Spend 30 nights well. आपका काम हो जाएगा. It's not like it's your very first time in Ramadan, right? You guys are pros. You know how to do the daytime part. I'm here to help you with the nighttime part. Yes? Third. First feature in Ramadan, shaitan, shayateen, insan, agents of shayateen changed. Second feature of Ramadan, the fasting helps you curb your nafs. Third feature of Ramadan, Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala opens up all the gates to Jannah, such that no single gate is closed. What does that mean? Number one, literally, all the abwab, all the gates to Jannah are open. Literally. What does that mean? It means कि जन्नत की जो हवाएं वो निकल जाती हैं. You see if there's a place that's जबरदस्त AC है, हाँ? और बाहर गर्मी है, और उस कमरे के मैं सारे दरवाजे खोल दूं, तो क्या होगा? अंदर की ऐसी बाहर भी चला जाएगा। जन्नत की बरकत वाली हवाएं, जन्नत की नेकियों की हवाएं, वो दुनिया को मिल जाती है। You will get the breeze of the blessings of Jannah in the month of Ramadan, because all the gates and windows of Jannah are open. Allahu Akbar. Another meaning. The doors of Jannah are open means that the path leading to that door is also open. Means जन्नत के रास्ते खुल गए, क्योंकि दरवाजे पहुंचने के लिए रास्ते चाहिए। दरवाजा खोलने का फायदा नहीं जब तक रास्ते नहीं खुले। So the paths leading to Jannah are open. Means all good a'mal are in your reach. Things that you never dreamed possible, you can do them in Ramadan. Tahajjud, easy. You'll find it easy. Reading Quran, easy. Making dua, easy. Allah Ta'ala opens up, giving sadaqah, charity, easy. Allah Ta'ala opens up the paths leading to Jannah. It's a special feature. Special feature. It also means that Allah Ta'ala admits a lot of people into Jannah. You see, if you go to a house, right, and you see all the doors are closed, sealed, locked, barred from the outside, so you will look and say, okay, I'm not really going to be able to get inside. And if you go to a house and you see every door, window, everything is flung wide open in a welcoming way, you feel, okay, it looks like the person wants me to come inside. So actually it means that Allah Ta'ala opening up the gates and doors of Jannah means Allah Ta'ala admits so many people entry into Jannah in this month of Ramadan. The third special feature. Fourth special feature. Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said that Allah Subhanahu Wa Ta'ala closes the gates to Jahannam in this month of Ramadan. Allah Ta'ala closes all the gates, all the doors that lead to Jahannam. Same thing. Number one, literally, all the gates of Jahannam are closed. Number two, the temptations of the paths leading to Jahannam, they are closed. Number three, if all the doors are closed, so nobody gets admitted into the ranks of Jahannam. This is every other month of the year, every second of every other part of the year. Some people, they do some amal that admits them into Jannah, and some people, they do some amal that admits them into Jahannam. In the month of Ramadan, Allah Ta'ala stops all admissions. Students can understand this process. Allah Ta'ala stops all admissions into Jahannam. होगा दाखिल बाद में हो सकता है, इस महीने में कोई दाखिला नहीं लेंगे जन्नत के, सब दरवाजे बंद, सिर्फ जन्नत के दाखिले चल रहे हैं। Allahu Akbar. It's a big mercy from Allah Subhanahu Wa Ta'ala. All the gates, all the admissions, and all the paths leading to Jahannam are closed off. Fifth special feature Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put in this month of Ramadan. Sayyidina Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that if we do a nafil act of ibadah, Allah ta'ala will give it the reward of a farz act of ibadah. If we do one farz act of ibadah, Allah ta'ala will give us the reward of 70 farz. 70 farz. Multiplier effect. Why? Give you an example. Maybe there was some man and he didn't pray Fajr all year long. He didn't pray Fajr all year. Never prayed Fajr. So it means he missed 330 Fajr. Right? Okay. Now he shows up in Ramadan and now he fasts. He wants to change. He wants to come closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He starts praying Fajr. Now he might have been worried, right? Then what's the point? I'm going to pray Fajr for 1 month, 30 days. What am I going to do? 330 days I missed it. But if that person prays Fajr all 30 days in Ramadan, well, Fajr is fard. Fajr is fard. And the Prophet ﷺ said that 1 fard equals 70 fard. So that means if that person prays Fajr all month Ramadan, even though he just prayed Fajr 30 times, Allah Ta'ala gives him the reward of 2,100 Fajr Salah. Allahu Akbar. 2,100 Fajr Salah. You know, that's years. What's 2,100 divided by 365? That's about 6 years. 6 years of Fajr Salah reward. Given to them, they just prayed 1 month of Fajr. Allahu Akbar. Maybe a person was like that with all 5 prayers. So they pray all 5 prayers in Ramadan. Allah Ta'ala gives them, they just prayed for 1 month. Allah Ta'ala gives them the reward as if they prayed for 6 years. Allahu Akbar Kabir. And then if you find fellow shuzr for Taraweeh, well, that's not fard, but Allah Ta'ala gives it the reward of fard in Ramadan. So 20 more rakats of fard on top of that. Ajee? Not just about salah, it's about every single thing. Now, first I'll tell you, it's not just the ajr, it's also the qurb. What does it mean? When you do a farz ibadah, you get a certain qurb to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is also mentioned, Nabi Akram mentioned Hadith al-Qudsi in Bukhari Muslim. That Allah ta'ala says, that my servant draws close to me. يَتَقَرَّبُ عَبْدِي إِلَيَّ. My servant draws close to me with that with which I made fard upon them. So whenever you do anything that is fard, you get a certain qurb, closeness to Allah ta'ala. So it means that you get 70 times closer to Allah ta'ala in Ramadan. Means कि एक वक्त फजर की नमाज पढ़ने से वो जो अल्लाह ताला आपसे जितना राजी खुश होने थे वो खुशी 70 गुना ज्यादा खुशी आपको मिलेगी रमजान में हर फर्ज के ऊपर. अल्लाहु अकबर. 70 times qurb and 70 times ajr. Then this is not just about salah, it's about every single thing. For example, it is fard for husband to treat wife well and for wife to treat husband well. So if they do amal on this fard in month of Ramadan, Allah Ta'ala gives them 70 times reward. And if they show some extra affection, nafil, if they show some extra affection, extra care, extra niceness, extra softness to their wife, or she shows some extra care, extra khidmat for her husband, that's nafil. But in this month, Allah Ta'ala will give her and him the reward of fard in this month of Ramadan. Allahu Akbar. It's true for everything. Every adab, every akhlaq, every ibadat, every amal, every and anything we do for the sake of Allah Ta'ala in this month of Ramadan, Allah Ta'ala will give us the rate of fard. Allahu Akbar. Look at this big feature in Ramadan. This means a person should want to do more and more and more. That's why Allah is putting this feature. Person should want to do more sadaqah, more adab, more akhlaq, more khidmat, more ibadat, more salah, more tilawat. Everything a person should do more because Allah Ta'ala wants to give us so much more reward. Next feature in month of Ramadan is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put these special last 10 days, which knows the 10 days of sunnah itikaf. In this last 10 days, Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that every night Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala takes out thousands of people from the ranks of Jahannam and makes them into Jannatis. Thousands of people who, due to their own book of deeds, their life that they lived, they were destined to go to Jahannam because of the type of life they lived. But they had just spent 20 days in Ramadan nicely. So in the last 10 days, Allah Ta'ala started taking thousands and thousands and thousands out from the list of Jahannam and putting them into the list of Jannah. Allahu Akbar. Special feature of Ramadan. The next special feature of Ramadan is that Laylatul Qadr that we already talked to you about. Khayru min alfi shahr. Better than 1,000 months. Okay, if it was equal to 1,000 months, that's about 82 years. This is khair, even better than that. Now what does this mean? So you make dua to Allah Ta'ala on Laylatul Qadr, it's as if you made that dua for 80 years. Ab you tell me, if there's somebody who did sin, agar kisi ne guna kiya hota, और मैं आपसे पूछता कि हाँ उसने बड़ा गुनाह किया, मगर 80 साल मुसलसल अल्लाह ताला से माफी मांग रहा है, आपके क्या ख्याल है तो उसको माफ करेंगे? आप ये 80 साल माफी मांग रहा है, 80 साल मुसलसल दुआ मांग रहा है, आप कहेंगे अल्लाह तो करीम है रहीम है तो माफ कर लेंगे. बस एक दफा दुआ लैलतुल कदर पर मांग ले, ऐसे है कि आपने 80 साल अल्लाह से मांगा लैलतुल कदर. Imagine somebody asks for barakat. If I said for 80 years they've been making dua for barakah, you said I'm sure Allah will give it to them. चलो बच्चे आए हुए हैं खुश करते हैं, अगर आप 80 साल नेक खूबसूरत बीवी को मांगे, अल्लाह ताला दे देंगे. आपने 80 साल मांगने नहीं है, वो तो बड़ा बुढ़ापे में आपको मिलेगा. आप बस लैलतुल कदर पर मांग लें, समझ गए? वरना तो 80 साल मांगेंगे तो you'll be 95 years old by then. Huh? A little bit late. Huh? No longer a player when you're 95 years old. Huh? Huh. Better that you make one dua on Laylatul Qadr. Yes? Can you imagine how much power Allah Ta'ala has put? And Allah Ta'ala didn't say equal. Khairum min alfi shahr. Allah knows. Maybe it's not 80 years. 80 years would be equal. It has to be more than that. It could be 800, could be 8,000, could be 8 million, could be 8 billion. That's up to Allah Ta'ala. Yutihi man yasha. This is the fazl of Allah Ta'ala. He gives it to whoever He wants. Allahu Akbar. Can you imagine? If I told you there's one night, I will give you 80 years salary. Think how you would work that night. Huh? Just imagine how you would work on that night. If there's a businessman that said there's one night, I'm going to give you 80 years profit. आप बताएं. Now you see why people stay up the whole night. लोग समझते हैं कि पूरी रात जागना है. 80 साल. Right? अगर मैं 80 साल सैलरी दूं पूरी रात जागेंगे नहीं. कौन तैयार है पूरी रात जागने के लिए? 80 साल तनख्वाह के लिए. हाँ? बताएं. Laylatul Qadr. This is actually how much Allah Ta'ala wants to give us in Ramadan. But I'll tell you, if I was to ask how many of you spent the whole night in ibadat last year, very few of you will raise your hand. Very few can say, yes, from Maghrib to Fajr mein lagat. मैंने हर दुआ मांगी. आखिरत की मांगी, सेहत की मांगी, बच्चों की मांगी, मैंने उम्मत के लिए मांगी, पाकिस्तान के लिए मांगी. This country will be fixed if 200 million Muslims in Pakistan, it's reached 200 million. 200 million of them make dua all night in just one night Laylatul Qadr. Just see what happens. People don't do it. You don't make use of the tools Allah Ta'ala has given us. You can watch news shows all night, nothing will happen. Nothing. This is another feature Allah Ta'ala has put in this month. You should already start making a list. The du'as I have to make dua for on Laylatul Qadr. Abhi bana. Yes, because different things will occur to you at different times. Very special. Very special. Another feature Allah Ta'ala put in this month. The night before Eid, which unfortunately people here that are garbar karte hain Chand Raat ke naam par. Actually, it's not Chand Raat, it's another night of maghfirat. Again, Allah Ta'ala frees so many people from the fire of Jahannam on this night. Then Eid Salah itself, it's another feature of Ramadan. Although technically it's Shawwal, but what happens on that day is the barak of Ramadan, that those people who fasted all month in Ramadan and they were true to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when they go to Eid Salah, Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that Allah ta'ala sends down angels from the heavens, and those angels are lining all the roads and paths through which the people are coming to pray Eid Salah, and they're making dua for those people. And then when the people who fasted in Ramadan, they get up from Eid Salah, Allah Ta'ala tells them, Kumu maghfureen, that you should rise from this Eid Salah now in a way that Allah Ta'ala has forgiven you for all of your sins, and you will be the guests of Allah Ta'ala on this day. Allah Ta'ala throws a party. Yes. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala throws a grand party on Eid. Allahu Akbar. These are features of Ramadan that Allah Ta'ala has put. We have to make use of these features. We should make dua that Allah Ta'ala grant us the blessing of each and every one of these things. You can understand this from an example, that sometimes people like farmers or businessmen, they say that this is my season. For the students, it's final exams week. Whether they're O-levels or A-levels or FSC or annual exam system, they will tell you that the exam week and the 3 weeks before that, those 4 weeks of my life, that's my season. Sometimes some shop owners, businessmen, even people have companies, it's their audit season, it's this season. When they use this word season, what do they mean? They mean, I will be doing nothing else except for this. If you try to call your friend during exam week and say, let's go hang out, you say, are you crazy? I have no time for you. Why? Because my exams are next week. You try to call a businessman when it's high season, he says, I have no time for you. This is how we should view Ramadan. Ramadan is our season. Nekiyon ki season. Taqwa ka season. It's the season of a'mal. The season that I have to reconnect my heart to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I have to get a boost. You have to have that boost. Like you will see students in final exam, they have an adrenaline, they have a boost. They study like anything. They study in 4 weeks more than they studied all year. That person works in those 4 weeks more than they worked all year. We have to make ibadat and please Allah Ta'ala in those 4 weeks of Ramadan more than we did all year. I forgot that one more feature of Ramadan. That Allah Ta'ala accepts the du'as that a person makes in suhoor and iftar. Every dua that you make, any dua we make at suhoor, and any and every dua we make at iftar, Allah Ta'ala will accept it. Our own Shaykh, he likes to call this 60 blank checks. That you get 60 blank checks in Ramadan. 30 for suhoor and 30 for fajr. And every time you can write whatever you want. Allahu Akbar. So you should be very careful to make sure you make dua at that time. It's a big tragedy that we're so busy with food. So I will tell you, number one, that Ramadan is not the month of the piping hot samosa. You can have that now if you want. Ramadan is the month to make dua. And especially the men should not make all their women busy in the kitchen at the time of, this is a time of qabuliyat of dua. So what should happen, the women or men, it's not necessary for women to make iftar, men can make iftar. Whoever makes the iftar at home should make it a little bit in advance and lay it out, and everything should be ready 10 minutes before Maghrib Adhan. And the last 5 to 10 minutes, everybody should just make dua. And you, those of you who are families, you should sit like a family and make dua. This is family time in Ramadan. That everybody should sit at that dastakhan, and right there, live, they're showing Allah Ta'ala. That you have to look, all the bounties and blessings are in front of me. All my favorite pakoras, samosas, ruafza, it's all there. But I can't touch it until I hear your name, Allah, and Allahu Akbar of the Adhan. Yes. Show it to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And spend those 5-10 minutes making dua. 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 7 minutes, something. Everybody should be sitting. It shouldn't be that the wife is working all the way right up to Adhan and brings the hot samosa. She missed her duas. Maybe she would have made dua for you. She would have made dua for her children at that time. To lay it out and sit there. Same thing at suhoor. I remember when I used to teach, this is one of the favorite questions the students used to ask me. That can I finish my cereal? Bachche to ye khate na suhoor mein. Can I finish my cereal during the azan of Fajr? No, you can't. You can't finish your cereal during the time of Fajr. Huh? You want to spoil your whole roza for a few spoons of cookie crisp? Huh? Allahu Akbar. No. The second the adhan starts, the second the time of Fajr, you see there are lines. Everywhere in the world there are borders. Right? There are borders. Between countries there's a border. It's that simple. You make 1 foot over there, you cross the border. In Sharia, these are called hudud. Tilka hududullah. These are the lines that Allah Ta'ala has set. When the time for Fajr starts, you have to stop eating. You have something in your mouth, you can't eat it. Yes? Easy way out is what I'm about to tell you, that you should stop eating 5 to 10 minutes before suhoor and make dua at that time. Even 3 minutes before, 2 minutes before. That is the time of qabuliyat of dua. Now interesting, Allah Ta'ala made these 2 times of acceptance of dua. Now in this one, it's a time when you could still eat, and in the other one was a time when you couldn't eat yet. Both ways, Allah Ta'ala wanted to give us a nukta here, that halat-e-sabr, halat-e-shukr, dono mein dua karna. Dono mein dua karna. Halat-e-shukr, suhoor mein aap abhi bhi kha sakte hain, magar dua bhi mangna. Halat-e-sabr, right before azan, okay, you're in sabr, you have to make dua. Allah Ta'ala is training us in Ramadan. So this is another major feature of Ramadan, that we should make dua at the time of suhoor and iftar. And try to make dua for the qabuliyat of your Ramadan. Before Ramadan, your fikr should be to be ready for Ramadan. During Ramadan, you should have fikr for what's going to happen to me after Ramadan. You want to have istiqamat after Ramadan. You want to do hifazat of the noor you got in Ramadan. कुछ लेना है और जो लेना है उसको रखना है, उसको महफूज करना है, उसको ज़ाय नहीं होने देना है, इसकी फिक्र हो. अगर पूरा महीने इस फिक्र से गुजारेंगे, इंशाअल्लाह रमज़ान मुबारक के अनवारात फ्यूज़ात सीने में महफूज रहेंगे. मगर एक सोच हो, ये सोच दुआ से पैदा होता है. ये रवैया रवाज दुआ से पैदा होता है. If you make dua, it will change your outlook. All the time you should make dua that Allah Ta'ala accept Ramadan and grant us to preserve the blessings of Ramadan. And during Ramadan, Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he increased more in his charity. There's a hadith that the best sadaqah is the sadaqah given in Ramadan. The best zakat is what we call al-nafa'ul al-fuqara. The best zakat is whatever best eradicates poverty. That's actually the purpose of zakat. Purpose of zakat is nothing less than the eradication of poverty. Now, even a student of economics would tell you that in that case it's the best if zakat is distributed throughout the year. Because obviously the poor are poor all year. It's not just in Ramadan. But the best sadaqah is the sadaqah that you give in the month of Ramadan. So if anybody wants to give charity beyond zakat, which is called sadaqah, the best time to give that is Ramadan. And on top of that, we also had the hadith that you get the reward of fard for nafil. So when you give nafli sadaqah in Ramadan, you will get the sawab of giving fard as if you gave fard zakat. As if you gave fard zakat any other time of the year. So another thing to increase is our charity. Now these were different acts, amal to do. Very important that we have to focus on the quality of our acts. So to keep it simple in Ramadan, I want you just to do one thing. Fix the quality of one thing, and that is your salah. It shouldn't be just that I do more in Ramadan. That we also did last year. I should make myself better in Ramadan. So focus on your salah. Salah is the greatest ibadat. Ahammul ibadah. Fix the quality of your salah. What does it mean? Focus, concentration, feelings for Allah Ta'ala. And you will find this easier to do in Ramadan. It's easier to pray salah with feeling in Ramadan. Why? Because it's a very simple rule. The more you remember Allah Ta'ala outside salah, the more you will be able to remember Allah Ta'ala inside salah. And because you were fasting in Ramadan, so the act of fasting was an act of dhikr. Because you felt your hunger and thirst all day. And you knew, either consciously or at least subconsciously, that your hunger and thirst was due to the fast, which was for the sake of Allah Ta'ala. So after you were in a state of dhikr. So because you were doing dhikr all day, it's easier to focus in your salah. So try to use the advantage of Ramadan to increase the quality of our salah. Another thing to do in Ramadan is to try to do dawah. To reach out to friends, family members, colleagues, neighbors, fellow students, etc. Anybody who has any love for you, anybody who has any like for you, you have to use the love that people have for you to connect them to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And normally the hearts are softer in Ramadan. People are more receptive to dawah in Ramadan. People who would never even be willing to listen to anything about deen, when Ramadan comes, they're interested. What should you talk to them? It's very simple. Very simple. When you do dawah, you don't invite them to any particular group. When you do dawah with the ordinary people, you just talk to them about Allah. That's it. Your job in Ramadan is to invite people to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Talk to them about the mercy of Allah ta'ala, the beauty of Allah ta'ala. Show them how Allah is al-Kareem with them in their life. Show them how they are also drowning in the blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Keep talking to them about Allah ta'ala, Allah ta'ala, Allah ta'ala, so that they get reacquainted, they get reintroduced to Allah ta'ala in Ramadan. Yes? Ramazan Mubarak Allah ta'ala ka taruf ka mehina. Dobara logon ko Allah ta'ala se taruf karo. That's called that. Yes? Once wo taruf ho jayega na, bas. Why? Because Allah Ta'ala is such an incredible being. When you know Him, you will love Him. Get automatic. The more you know Allah, the more you will love Allah. The more you love Allah, the more you will obey Allah, worship Allah, pray to Allah. All amal will come. All actions will come. You have to invite people to feelings. You can't invite them directly to actions. You can't say pray, pray, pray. You have to invite them to the feelings that will make them want to pray. That's called love for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's called feelings for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So in Ramadan, the heart is softer to get those feelings from Allah Ta'ala. Why? Because the mercy Allah Ta'ala is sending, it's hitting their heart also. Allah Ta'ala ki rahmat ki shuyunat unke dil par bhi lag rahi. That's why their heart is softer. They're feeling it. They may not know, they can't understand. They're also feeling the barakat of Ramadan. It's a month of such incredible barakat and incredible blessings. In Ramadan, because Ramadan has a special nisbat with Quran, so you should try to increase your feelings connection with Quran. That can mean reciting Quran, it can mean understanding Quran, but it means feeling Quran. So sometimes we used to tell people like this, that there should be few ayats. That in Ramadan you should learn how to feel those ayahs so much, so that after Ramadan, anytime you recite that ayah, it has a feeling on you. You see, many times people say, I go down in my iman, I felt a dip, I feel low. So it should be very simple. You should recite this ayah should give you a boost. But they don't have that connection with Quran. So in Ramadan, try to find some verses of Allah's mercy, some verses about Allah Ta'ala's love that ignite your heart. And try to get so close to those verses in this month of Ramadan that any time you recite them, they make an instant impact on your heart. I'll give you an example of a verse like that. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. All of us, I'm sure, would know this verse. Indeed, we are all from Allah Ta'ala and we are all going to return to Allah Ta'ala. Try to really understand the meaning of this. Try to feel it, that I'm from Allah, I'm going to Allah. It means Allah Ta'ala kehna hai, aap Allah hi ke. Aaye bhi Allah Ta'ala se aur jana bhi Allah Ta'ala ke paas. Aap Allah hi ke. It's a feeling. It's a feeling of asliyat. It's a feeling of who I really am, what my true origin is, what my true destination is, what my true identity is. Latch your heart onto this verse so much that anytime then you get weak in iman, you just take this verse out, you read it, and you're good to go. Try to get some taluk with it. Ideally, we should be like that with every verse of Quran. But most of you won't be able to do that in 30 days. You can do translation. It's difficult to get feelings of entire Quran in 30 days. So this time, go for the feeling. Take some verses like that. Maybe in the course of your recitation, there may be a verse that moves you. Make note of that. Keep that verse. Take it out separate. Write it separately. Keep it with you. Keep reading it. Keep reciting it. Use it in salah. Make yourself have some heartfelt attachment to some verses of Quran such that they change our life. And keep in mind the purpose Allah Ta'ala said in Quran about Ramadan, لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. You have to become a taqwa seeker. Keep thinking, what's more taqwa? Don't look at fatwa in this month. Taqwa. What's better? What's better? What's best? What's more noble? What's more pleasing? Afdal, ahsan, awla, adka, azka, athar. These are words in Quran. Ye bhi ek din hai. Yes. The people who try to become more pleasing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You have to become a taqwa seeker in this month. Allah Ta'ala will make it happen. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make it happen. Here, there are many things we could tell you about Ramadan. I want to tell you just one last thing tonight. One last thing tonight. And that is that Ramadan is the month of Quran. Yes. Ramadan is the month of taqwa. Yes. Ramadan has all those features we mentioned. Yes. Ramadan has all these blessings and barakat. Yes. Ramadan is the month for us to do ibadah. Yes. Everything we mentioned. There's one more thing about Ramadan. And that is Ramadan is the month of mercy. Ramadan is the month of mercy. And Allah Ta'ala is the Rabb of mercy. Now when these two things get together, Allahu Akbar Kabira. When Allah Rahmanur Rahim sends all of His mercy in the month of mercy called Ramadan, you cannot imagine how much mercy comes down. It's infinite mercy. Yes. Infinite mercy. Limitless mercy. Unfathomable, inconceivable mercy that comes in Ramadan. Now that gives us a lot of hope. Because who needs mercy? If a person is a small sinner, they need a little mercy. And if a person is a big sinner, they need a lot of mercy. So actually, when we tell you that Ramadan is the month of mercy, it means Ramadan is the month of sinners. Yes. रमजान गुनाहगारों की महीना है, हमारे लिए महीना बनाया गया कि जितना भी गुनाहगार है वो भी इतनी रहमत अल्लाह ताला भेजते हैं इस महीने में, आने वाले महीने में, कि जितने भी गुनाहगार हो फिर भी रब के साथ ताल्लुक बन सकता है, इतनी रहमत। ये नहीं कि जस्ट माफी, नो, माफी एंड ताल्लुक एंड निस्बत एंड विलायत, यस, इतनी रहमत। Ramadan is the month which has so much mercy that the worst of sinners, the gravest of sinners, who does the most fuhush, vulgar, crude, repeated sin and has no salah, has nothing, even that person can become the wali of Allah Ta'ala in this month of Ramadan. This is the month of Ramadan. यानी अल्लाह ताला की रहमत का महीना, विलायत का महीना, गुनाहगारों को विलायत तकसीम होने वाले महीना। Yes, can you imagine? Not just माफी, गुनाहगारों को माफी और विलायत मिलने का महीना। अब now we should have some hope. अब now nobody is excluded from Ramadan, no matter how big a sinner a person is. The month of Ramadan has mercy for them. The month of Ramadan has mercy for them. Nabi Kareem Sallallahu explained this in Hadith. He said, "Awwaluhu," the first 10 days of the month of Ramadan, "Awwaluhu rahma," are mercy from Allah Ta'ala. Wa awsatuhu maghfirah, and the middle 10 days are forgiveness from Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. Wa akhiruhu itkum minan nar, and the last 10 days, so much mercy that Allah Ta'ala takes people out from the fire of Jahannam and makes them into Jannati. 30 days of mercy. So who needs, me and you need Ramadan the most then? They don't think the others don't need Ramadan, they're good people. Me and you need Ramadan, because we are the sinning members of this ummah. We are the runaway slaves of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. For example, if a person used to pray, but maybe didn't behave so well, or couldn't feel so much in their prayer, first 10 days of Ramadan is a rahmah. Allah Ta'ala, out of His mercy, accepts the prayers they prayed all year, and then grants them the ability to change other things in themselves. Maybe there's another person who wasn't praying. He prayed once or twice, every now and then. So he needs full 10 days of Ramadan to spend well. When he crosses into the 11th day, then he gets maghfirah. Then he spent 11 days even. It starts immediately, in the second ashar. So Allah says, okay, you spent 11 days for me, I forgive you for all those prayers you missed. Then maybe there was a person who was really bad. Didn't pray, wasn't good, didn't have good akhlaq, used to do sins, used to hurt people. He spends just 20 days in taqwa. Just 20 days. That's it. Even having lived a whole year or a whole 10 years or a whole lifetime that leads to Jahannam. He spends 20 days in taqwa. By the 21st day, Allah says, okay, you spent 21 days for me, I take you out of Jahannam. Allahu Akbar. So much mercy from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this month of Ramadan. That's why Sahaba Ikram, they used to wait all year for Ramadan. Some of the reports say that 6 months they used to wait for Ramadan, and the other half of the year after Ramadan, they would beg Allah Ta'ala to accept the Ramadan. All year they were thinking about Ramadan. There was such an azim month. Such an azim month. So we make dua that Allah Ta'ala accept us this year for the month of Ramadan, that He make it a mercy for us, and that He make it a month of tawbah for us. You see, we are the runaway slaves of that true master. We left His path. Just look at our record. Anybody can do hisab of their own life, how we spent the past 10, 11 months of our life, how distant we let ourselves become, how we got sidetracked into the world, sidetracked into sin, sidetracked into our nafs. So now we should think Ramadan is coming. We want to present ourselves in front of the mercy of Allah Ta'ala. You see, when you find out in the court, like the businessmen, if you find this tax amnesty, you will come forward. If the court says we will forgive everyone, you will come forward. When the Nabi Kareem Sallallahu came in Fatih Makkah and says, I forgive anyone and everyone, people came forward. Even Ikramah, the son of Abu Jahl, he came forward. Washi, he came forward. People came forward. Great mujrims, they came forward when they found out that Nabi Kareem Sallallahu was going to forgive them. So we are also mujrims. We should come forward in Ramadan when we know that Allah Ta'ala will forgive us in this month of Ramadan. This is the maghfirah that Allah Ta'ala is going to give. So we should simply take a plunge into that mercy. Plunge into deen. And the way to make true tawbah is to make a niyat in our heart that, Ya Allah, I want to be yours entirely. That's it. What I told you in the beginning. That one click. All this was just to convince you to do that one click. Now I want to be yours entirely. All deen should be in all of me. That's it. I want my entire life to be entirely pleasing to you. I want my entire life to follow the entire sunnah of Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I want my entire life to have entire adab, entire akhlaq. I want my entire life to entirely follow all your ahkam. I want to be yours entirely. Why? Because I want you to be mine entirely. Bas, सीधी सी बात है. That's what you want. You want Allah Ta'ala, you want Jannah. So Jannah means you want Allah Ta'ala to be yours entirely for all eternity. That's what it means to want Jannah. That I want Allah Ta'ala to be mine entirely for all of eternity. So then why don't we make ourselves entirely Allah Ta'ala's in this world? It's a great deal. Make yourself entirely Allah's in this world, and Allah Ta'ala will make you His entirely for all of eternity. It's the best deal you could ever make. Ramadan is the time to make that deal. Ramadan is the month where that deal is easy to make. Ramadan is that time where Allah Ta'ala is offering that deal to every single sinner of this ummah. So we should prepare for Ramadan. We should take this month of Ramadan very seriously. May Allah Ta'ala put barakah in our Ramadan, barakah in the rest of this Shaban. May He make us reach this month of Ramadan. Wa akhir da'wana an alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Subhana rabbina al-wahhab. Allahumma salli ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala ali sayyidina Muhammad wa barik wa sallim. ربنا ظلمنا أنفسنا وإن لم تغفر لنا وترحمنا لنكونن من الخاسرين رب اغفر وارحم وأنت خير الراحمين. Ya Allah, Ya Rabbi Kareem, Ya Allah, we ask that you bless us in Shaban. Ya Allah, bring us to Ramadan. Ya Allah, every mercy that you offer in Ramadan, we want to receive that mercy, Ya Allah. We want to retain that mercy, Ya Allah. We want to absorb that mercy, Ya Allah. Put in our heart this year all of the barakat of Ramadan, all of the fuyuzat of Ramadan, all of the anwarat of Ramadan. Ya Rabbi Kareem, prepare us for Ramadan. Help us, Ya Rabbi Kareem. Ya Allah, we have spent so many Ramadans before. Make it different this time. Make it different this year. Make us true, Ya Allah. Change our hearts this month, Ya Rabbi Kareem. Change our lives this month, Ya Rabbi Kareem. Upgrade us in taqwa, Ya Allah. Upgrade our iman, Ya Allah. Upgrade our haya, Ya Allah. Upgrade our salah, Ya Allah. Upgrade our akhlaq, Ya Allah. Upgrade our sidq, Ya Allah. Ya Rabbi Kareem, each and every part of us needs to be fixed. Ya Rabbi Kareem, you're the month of mercy, and you are the Rabb of mercy. Ya Allah, we are the sinners of this ummah. We are desperately needy of this mercy. Ya Rabbi Kareem, guide us to Ramadan. Guide us through Ramadan. Help us, Ya Allah. Ya Rabbi Kareem, let us do amal on everything that we heard on this night. Let us live everything we have heard in our life. Let us practice everything that we know about deen. Make us mukhlisin in deen, sadiqeen in deen, siddiqeen in deen. Make us from your ibadik as-salihin, Ya Rabbi Kareem. Ya Allah, we make tawbah on this night. Ya Allah, accept our tawbah, Ya Allah. Rescue us from sin. Deliver us from sin. Safeguard us from sin. And Ya Rabbi Kareem, we ask that you take out all the unlawful sins from our heart. Take out all the lustful feelings from our heart. Take out all the unlawful romance from our heart. Take out every unlawful attraction from our heart. Ya Allah, take out every unlawful infatuation from our heart. Ya Rabbi Kareem, take out any and every unlawful feeling for ghair mahram from our heart. And Ya Rabbi Kareem, put in our heart a love for you, Ya Allah, an attraction for you, and an infatuation with you, an obsession with you, a yearning for you, a longing for you, feelings for you. Ya Rabbi Kareem, coat our heart in love for you, drown our heart in love for you, drench our heart in love for you. Ya Allah, we wish your name to be engraved on our heart. Ya Rabbi Kareem, imprint your name on our heart. Put taqwa in our heart. Put haya in our heart. Put sidq in our heart. Ya Rabbi Kareem, we have polluted our heart. We have failed to control our gaze, failed to control our tongue. We have lost our haya. Ya Rabbi Kareem, forgive us, Ya Rabbi Kareem. Forgive us on this night, Ya Allah, in this blessed Shaban, coming close most blessed Ramadan. Ya Rabbi Kareem, forgive us for the sins that we did in the day. Forgive us for the sins that we did at night. Forgive us for the sins that we did alone. Forgive us for the sins that we did with others. Ya Rabbi Kareem, make us pious in this month of Ramadan. Ya Rabbi Kareem, ہمارے آج رات توبہ کو قبول فرما, ہمارا بیٹھنے کو قبول فرما, سننا سنانا قبول فرما. یا رب کریم, تمام حاضرین آپ کی تلاش میں گھر سے نکلیں. یا رب کریم, آپ کو اپنا مراد نصیب فرما, مقصود نصیب فرما. یا رب کریم, ہم نے تو بڑوں سے سنا کہ یا رب کریم, جو آپ کی تلاش سے گھر سے نکلتا ہے وہ تو فی سبیل اللہ ہوتا ہے, آپ کے راستے والا بن جاتا ہے. یا رب کریم, ہمیں ہمیشہ صراط مستقیم کا راستہ نصیب فرما, ہمیشہ یہ طلب عطا فرما, اس طلب کو قائم دائم فرما. ہمارے دلوں کو اپنی چاہت عطا فرما, دلوں میں اپنی طرف رغبت عطا فرما, ہمیں اپنا سچا طالب بنا. یا رب کریم, ہم دنیا کے طالب بن کر رہ گئے, مخلوق کے پیچھے جا پھر کر تھک گئے ہیں. یا رب کریم, اب آپ کی طرف لوٹنا چاہتے ہیں. آپ تو کریم رحیم رب ہیں, ہمیں تو یقین ہے کہ آپ تانا نہیں دیں گے, آپ ناراض نہیں ہوں گے, بلکہ آپ ہمیں قبول کریں گے. یا رب کریم, آج رات کی پیشی ہماری قبول فرما. یا رب کریم, جب مجرم عدالت میں جاتا ہے اور اپنے جرم کے اقرار کرتا ہے, عدالت والوں بھی ان کے ساتھ نرمی کا معاملہ کرتے ہیں. یا رب کریم, ہم بھی آپ کو پیش کر رہے ہیں, اپنے آپ کو اسی دنیا میں پیشی دے رہے ہیں. قیامت کے دن کی پیشی کی سختی سے بچا لیجئے, آج رات کی پیشی کو قبول فرما لیجئے, ہمارے تمام گناہوں کو معاف فرما. یا رب کریم, جو گناہ ہم نے ارادے سے کیے وہ بھی معاف فرما, جو بن ارادے ہوئے وہ بھی معاف فرما, جو گناہ زبان سے کیے معاف فرما, آنکھوں سے کیے معاف فرما, اپنے خیال میں گناہ کیے معاف فرما. یا رب کریم, اور عملی گناہ کیے ان کو بھی معاف فرما. یا رب کریم, ہم نے تو سنا کہ آپ گناہ گاروں پر بھی رحمت نازل کرتے ہیں, آپ اپنی رحمت کا معاملہ فرما, کرم فضل کا معاملہ فرما, ہمیں بھی اپنے دوستوں میں سے بنا. ایک ایسا مہینہ آپ ہم پر لا رہے ہیں کہ ہم بھی آپ کے ولی بن سکتے ہیں. یا رب کریم, ہمیں خود نہیں سچتا مگر آپ کی کریمی کو سچتا ہے کہ ہم آپ سے یہ نعمت مانگے. یا رب کریم, ہم سب کو اپنے ولایت عطا فرما, نسبت عطا فرما, متقین میں سے بنا, صالحین میں سے بنا, صدیقین صادقین میں سے بنا, اپنا قرب عطا فرما. یا رب کریم, دوری اختیار کر کر خود تھک گئے ہیں, اس دوری کو چھوڑنا چاہتے ہیں, آپ کا قرب اختیار کرنا چاہتے ہیں. آپ نے تو قرآن میں اعلان کر دیا, فإنی قریب, ہم اس اعلان سن کر آئے ہیں, ہم اس اعلان سن سن کر پل چکے ہیں. یا رب کریم, ہمیں بھی اپنا قرب کا احساس عطا فرما, اس قرب کے تقاضے کو پورا کرنا ہماری تقدیر بنا, ہمارا نصیب میں سے بنا. یا رب کریم, یہ آنے والے رمضان کو زندگی کے سب سے بہترین رمضان بنا, زندگی کے سب سے بہترین ایام بنا. یا رب کریم, ہمیں نفس کی حفاظت فرما. یا رب کریم, جو کچھ کہا سنا گیا اس پر عمل کرنا آسان بنا, ہر وقت ہمارے دل میں یاد دہانی عطا فرما. یا رب کریم, ہم بھول گئے ہیں, بھٹک گئے ہیں, آپ کا کرم ہم پر آیا, آپ نے ہمیں یہاں جمع فرمایا. یا رب کریم, ہمیں اپنی ہدایت عطا فرما, ہمیں راہ راست بنا, اپنی قبولیت عطا فرما, شرف قبولیت عطا فرما. یا رب کریم, تقوی کی عظیم نعمت ہمیں نصیب فرما, غفلت سے نکال کر ذکر عطا فرما, معصیت سے نکال کر اطاعت عطا فرما. یا رب کریم, اس سستی کو دور فرما. یا رب کریم, ہم سست ہو کر آخرت سے محروم نہیں ہونا چاہتے, ہر قسم سے محرومی سے محفوظ فرما. یا رب کریم, اتنے کریم رب ہیں, رحیم رحمان رب ہیں, غفور غفار رب ہیں. یا رب کریم, ہم آپ سے بڑے امید لے کر آئے ہیں. یا رب کریم, ہمارے امیدوں سے بڑھ کر معاملہ فرما. تمام حاضرین مجلس یا سامعین جہاں بھی لوگ سن رہے ہیں, یا رب کریم, سب کی دلی فریاد کو قبول فرما, نیک مرادوں کو پورا فرما. یا رب کریم, حیا والا بنا, تقوی والا بنا, ہر قسم کی بے حیائی سے محفوظ فرما, اپنا وفادار بنا. یا رب کریم, نبی کریم صلی اللہ علیہ وسلم کی سچی محبت عطا فرما, ان کو وفادار امتی بنا, ان کو مثالی امتی بنا, ان کو عاشق امتی بنا, ہمیں ان کو محبوب امتی بنا. یا رب کریم, ہم اپنے راستے سے بہت ہٹ چکے ہیں, پتہ نہیں کس نظریے کو ہم نے اپنا امام بنا چکے ہیں. آج کے بعد نبی کریم کا سنت عظیم سنت کو اپنا امام بنانے کی توفیق عطا فرما یا رب ان کو سیرت کو ہمارا امام بنا، ان کی کیفیات کو ہمارا امام بنا، ان کے آداب اور اخلاق کو ہمارا امام بنا یا رب کریم ہمیں بھی ادب اخلاق والا بنا، صفات والا بنا، احوال والا بنا، نبی کریم صلی اللہ علیہ وسلم کا نمونہ ہمیں بنا، دین کو نمائندگی کرنا ہے رب کریم ہمارے لیے آسان بنا، دین کو بدنامی بننے سے محفوظ فرما، اپنے مشائخ اولیاء صحابہ نبی کریم صلی اللہ علیہ وسلم کا باعث ندامت نہ بنا یا رب کریم ہمیں اچھا کردار عطا فرما، اچھا رویہ عطا فرما، اچھا مزاج عطا فرما، اچھا سلوک عطا فرما، ہم سب کو اپنا سیدھا سادہ سچا ستھرا مسلمان بنا یا رب کریم خدمت کی صفت نصیب فرما، خدمت کا شوق عطا فرما، غربت ختم کرنے کے لیے کوشش ہم سے قبول فرما یا رب کریم جو بھی آپ نے نعمتیں ہمیں دی ہیں ان نعمت کو آپ کی رضا میں استعمال کرنا نصیب فرما، ان نعمتوں کو مخلوق کی خدمت میں لگانا نصیب فرما یا رب کریم آپ نے دنیا کی بہت سی نعمتیں دی ہیں، ہم آخرت کی نعمتوں کے زیادہ محتاج ہیں یا رب کریم آخرت کی نعمتوں بھی عطا فرما یا رب کریم آخرت کی فقیری سے محفوظ فرما، آخرت میں مفلس ہونے سے محفوظ فرما یا رب کریم اپنے رحمت کرم فضل سے ہماری دعاؤں کو قبول فرما یا رب کریم ملک پاکستان پر اپنے خصوصی رحمت نازل فرما، اس آنے والے رمضان مبارک کی برکات کو پورے ملک پر تقسیم فرما، پوری رحمتوں پورے ملک پر تقسیم فرما، اس ملک کو امن اطمینان والا بنا، جس مقصد کے لیے ملک بنا یا رب کریم اس مقاصد میں کامیابی عطا فرما، ہر دشمن سے محفوظ فرما، ہر فتنہ سے محفوظ فرما، ہم سب کو ملک کا اچھا شہری بنا یا رب کریم امت مسلمہ پر اپنے خصوصی رحمت نازل فرما، جہاں بھی امت پریشان ہے پریشانیوں کو دور فرما یا رب کریم تو ولی و وکیل ہے، جو امت کے مظلومین متاثرین ہیں ان کو اپنے غیبی مدد عطا فرما، غیبی ولایت عطا فرما، غیبی وکالت ان کی فرما، اپنے غیبی کفالت ان کو نصیب فرما اور یا رب کریم ہمیں بھی امت کی خدمت کے لیے قبول فرما یا رب کریم سب کے دل میں اپنی محبت عطا فرما یا رب کریم سب کے وقت میں برکت عطا فرما، رزق میں برکت عطا فرما، صحت میں برکت عطا فرما یا رب کریم ہمارے دین میں برکت عطا فرما، پہلے بھی رمضان گزار چکے ہیں برکت نہیں رہی ویسے بن کر رہ گئے یا رب کریم اس سال برکت رمضان نصیب فرما، ہمیں اپنے نحوست سے محفوظ اپنے جو اندر ہماری اپنی نحوست ہے اس سے محفوظ فرما، ہم ہر نجاست چھوڑنا چاہتے ہیں، ہر طہارت حاصل کرنے کے لیے آئے ہیں، ہر برائی سے توبہ کرنا چاہتے ہیں، ہر اچھائی اپنانے کی نیت لے کر آئے ہیں یا رب کریم ہمیں اس نیت پر قائم دائم رہنا نصیب فرما، دین کی تعلیمات سیکھنا ہمارا نصیب فرما، دین کی نصیحت قبول کرنا ہمیں نصیب فرما، رہنمائی کے مطابق چلنا ہمارا صفت بنا یا رب کریم اپنے رحمت کرم فضل سے ہماری ان دعاؤں کو قبول فرما، ربنا تقبل منا انك انت السميع العليم وتب علينا انك انت التواب الرحيم وصلى الله تعالى على حبيبه سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه اجمعين برحمتك يا ارحم الراحمين.